It is 16 days till the man burns, and today we're talking about sexual harassment and consent and radical inclusion. It isn't fun to talk about these kind of topics, but I do think that it's something that's really important that is addressed. Because as not fun as it is to talk about it, to experience it is a whole lot less fun. One of the problems with sexual harassment is that the line is kind of blurry on what exactly is sexual harassment. Some people might feel like if someone catcalls them in the street that it's no big deal. While for another person it is a big deal. It makes them feel vulnerable or self-conscious. It makes them feel that, while they're going about their day, people are just looking at them as a sex object. One of the principles of Burning Man is radical inclusion. It is incredibly difficult to feel radically included if people are sexually harassing you. If you're out enjoying your day and someone just shouts at you what they want to do to you sexually or asks you to show off certain body parts to them for their pleasure, you don't feel radically included. You feel like a piece of meat. You feel like that person just sees you as an object for their pleasure, not as a human being or a person. It can make you feel vulnerable and unsafe because, that person is not respecting you as a person. They're not respecting your boundaries. They don't have this filter where they're like, this could make someone deeply uncomfortable. Likewise with radical self-expression, you might want to radically express yourself and you've bought an amazing outfit and that's the thing, you want to wear, you want to go all out, but you're worried that if you wear that thing, then you're going to get sexually harassed for it. There is an amazing post on the Burning Man journal. I will try and link it in the description box below. I know I keep forgetting to link things that I say well. I'm sorry. Please remind me in the comments if I do forget to link it. So let's talk a bit about sexual harassment, like what is not okay. So first up, touching people without their consent is not okay. You may be walking behind someone and you see their tushy and you want to give it a little slap as you go past. But that is not your butt. You do not have a free rein to go around touching parts of people's bodies without their consent. If you want to do it, you need to get that person's consent. You need to make sure that they are okay with you touching them before you go ahead and do it. Making sexual comments about other people is not okay. If you see someone and in your brain somewhere you think, oh, I want them to do this to me or I want to do this to them, that's between you and your brain. Like, that person does not need to hear that. It is really inappropriate and you could be ruining that person's day. You could end up ruining, a portion of their time at Burning Man because they just feel uncomfortable or a bit vulnerable or unsafe because, you've decided to just shout that out at them. Keep that stuff to yourself. Don't make the people around you feel uncomfortable by just blurting that kind of stuff out at people. If you see someone that you do like and you decide to go and have a little chat with them, see if your luck's in. If it's not, accept that with grace and dignity. Don't become aggressive, don't become whiny, don't see it as some kind of challenge to change that person's mind. I think many people out there of all genders have had the situation where someone has attempted to chat them up and they just won't leave and they respond very, very badly when you say no. Don't be that person. If the person you've gone to talk to is not interested, then leave them be. Let them carry on with whatever they're doing and you go off and do whatever it is that you want to do. Chances are if you're getting whiny or aggressive, then you are just making the person feel really uncomfortable. No means no. Go away means go away. Leave me alone means leave me alone. Don't do that. Please don't do that means don't do that. It can take courage for someone to be that upfront with someone and just be like, no, I just want you to leave me alone or I just want you to go away. Especially if you've ever experienced the kind of aggression that you can get when you reject someone. No one should ever have to say any of those things more than once. If someone asks you to leave them alone, if someone says, you're making them feel uncomfortable, someone says, no, I don't want to do that, no, I don't want you to do that, that should be it. Then you should accept that. That person is being very upfront and honest about how they feel and what they want. You should respect the courage it takes for many people to be that upfront and honest with someone. People's bodies are not a form of currency. If you are gifting things to people, then singling one person out and being like, I will give you this gift if you show me a part of your body. That's not how gifting works. Gifting is not bartering and people's bodies are not currency. You should not be singling people out to show parts of their bodies or kiss or hug you or touch you or you being allowed to touch them. None of that stuff. If you are giving out gifts, if you are, giving out food or drinks in a theme camp or something, and everyone else is getting those things for free as a gift, then singling out certain people and saying, well, you can't have it as a gift for free. You actually need to give me something sexual in exchange for it. It's wrong. People's bodies are not currency, and by doing that, you are reducing them to just being an object. It's really not okay. And for anyone that's in that situation, that someone is asking them to do something to get something in return, walk away from it. You don't need whatever that person has. People's bodies are not a peep show. I'm sure most people were taught that staring is rude from when they were children, and the same applies. Don't just be ogling everyone around you and staring at them or staring at parts of them. You're probably making that person feel very uncomfortable, and you could be taking away that feeling that they are free to wear that outfit or go nude or express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves, because you're not treating them with respect. You are just staring at them as if they are some kind of show or performance piece for you to be looking at. I'm not saying that, if a nude person walks past, you need to look away because you don't want them to think you're staring. But I think we all know that there's a difference between staring at something and just looking at something. Sexual harassment is not just about strangers. You might think a lot of these are, it's for strangers, slapping someone's butt. Hey, if it's my friend, I can slap their butt, they're my friend. But that might not be the case. Your friend may not actually be comfortable with you doing that. All friendships are a bit different. All friendships have a different dynamic and comfort level. And while one friend, it might be fine, you might kind of have that kind of friendship where it is okay. Another friend you may not have that kind of relationship with, you might not have that dynamic. And this is especially important if you are camping with many people, friends of friends or friends you maybe don't know so well. Then keep in mind what is appropriate, because if you are camping together and you are making someone feel uncomfortable, then you're camping together. That should be kind of a safe space. No one should have to feel being back at camp is an uncomfortable experience, or they're being harassed back at camp, or they just feel a bit vulnerable when they're back at camp, and so they have to try and avoid it. So be aware of how you are treating your campmates and whether or not you are making them feel a bit uncomfortable. Nudity is an outfit choice. People that are going nude are not going nude for the people around them. It's not a sexual thing. They're not I'm going to go out nude so that everyone can look at me and enjoy my naked body. No, it's what they want to wear that day. And they should be treated exactly the same as you would treat someone that was wearing clothes. Being nude is not a free pass to sexually harass someone. It is not a free pass to make inappropriate comments about that person, to tell that person what you want to do to them sexually, to touch them inappropriately, to stare at them, to just leer at them and be a bit of a creeper. That person just probably wants to go about their day and have fun. And if they're being subjected to sexual harassment, they're probably not going to feel free to go out nude and feel like it's a safe, comfortable environment for them to do that in. Okay, so onto some kind of consent issues. I have done a whole video on consent, so I will try and link that in the description box below. So if someone does consent to something, consent is not a free-for-all. It's not like if someone consents to one thing, they're consenting to everything for all of time. If someone consents to kissing you, they're not consenting to you putting your hands down their pants. That's a completely different action, and that needs its own consent. And just because someone consents to something at one moment in time, it doesn't mean they're consenting for eternity. If you see someone on the first day and they consent to having a little kiss and cuddle with you, it doesn't mean that if you see them the next day that consent still applies. Consent is so important for making sure that everyone involved in a situation feels comfortable and is happy with what is happening. And it makes people feel comfortable and safe in the situation that they're in, because they know that the person that they are with or people that they are with are respecting their boundaries. They're getting consent before attempting to push things any further. If you have met someone, you're having a great time and you want to get intimate with them, but they have been drinking quite heavily, or maybe they have taken something and they don't seem quite in the right place to be able to make a decision like that, then leave it for another day. Leave it for when they have sobered up. I don't know about America, but in England we do have a law about intoxicated people being able to give consent, and the law is basically if people are really intoxicated, they are not able to give consent. Alcohol can, lower your boundaries and make you not really think rationally. And when you're in that state of mind, if you are, really, really drunk, then you are not in the state of mind where you are able to actually give consent to something like that. And whether or not there's a law that actually kind of covers that in America, I think it's a very, very important thing. If the person you are with is very intoxicated, if they seem like they're not really able to be making decisions, then don't try and get them to consent to something. That person may just actually need a little bit of looking after and keeping an eye on to make sure that they can continue to have a good time and enjoy themselves without being taken advantage of, or, without getting themselves into mischief. If you really like that person, wait until they're sober, wait until they are like in a rational state of mind and they are really able to give you consent and mean it. Consent should be an enthusiastic thing. It should not be something where someone's like, oh, maybe, or oh, I'm not really sure, and then you kind of wear that person down. Silence doesn't mean yes, maybe doesn't mean yes, I'm not sure doesn't mean yes. Nothing really means yes, but yes. Some people go with like a no means no form of consent where, things happen and then someone says no, and that's when like the boundary is kind of set of like, that's not okay, but the stuff coming before it was okay. And other people go with the only yes means yes kind of consent. So it's the idea that either boundaries are set before anything happens, or that boundaries are constantly rechecked before a new thing happens. Are you okay with this or with this? And then obviously, no means no and only yes means yes. So if you are part of camp yes means yes, where you are getting consent before anything is happening, then, you are getting that consent. But if you are part of no means no, then it's important to be aware that, there may be times where you do need to, get that yes consent. Like, silence doesn't always mean yes. If someone doesn't seem to be enthusiastically into whatever is happening, then they may feel like they've just had a boundary crossed. Then they may not be happy with what is currently happening. They might have been happy with what happened before, but, a line has been crossed and now they are not happy. And some people in situations like that, they get a bit freaked out and that causes them to be silent or stay really still because, like rabbit in headlights syndrome. So if you are with someone that suddenly becomes unenthusiastic or still or very quiet, then, that is a good time to employ only yes means yes. Like maybe you have crossed a boundary, or maybe something has happened. They are just in a situation where they suddenly don't feel great. And you should check in with that person and be like, is everything okay? Do you still want to do this? Have I crossed a boundary that you didn't really want to cross? As a community, I think it's really important that we help each other out. If you see a situation that you think is maybe non-consensual, you think that maybe something dodgy is going on, go and step in and just, have a chat, see if everything's okay. If you see someone that is like super intoxicated and it seems like someone is harassing them or maybe trying to take advantage of that, see if the intoxicated person maybe needs a hand like finding their friends or getting back to their camp safely or something. Even if you do step in and then you find out like, nope, everything is okay, there is nothing strange and dodgy going on, like, you tried to help when you thought that someone might need help, and that's the right thing to do. Likewise, if you see someone being harassed and, someone is responding aggressively to that person, trying to tell them to go away, or it seems like the person is very uncomfortable, maybe step in and just see if everything's all right. And, that might be enough to just help that person out of that tough situation. If you see people creeping on people, like maybe someone's trying to take pictures of someone without their consent when that person's nude, then, let the nude person know that that is something that's happening. And don't forget there are always rangers. So, if you are in a situation, if you feel like something bad is going on, then get a ranger, because rangers are going to be able to help you. They're going to be able to deal with the situation. They will know what to do. I'm not saying we all need to be like Batman or something, looking out for these things, making sure everyone's safe, all the citizens of Burning Man. That's not why you go to Burning Man. You go to Burning Man to experience and have fun. I'm talking about if you see something, if you see something happening that you think might be not okay, or that someone maybe needs some help, don't ignore it. Don't just assume that everything's okay. Don't assume that someone else is going to step in and deal with it. If you've seen it, then step in and just make sure that everything is okay. At the end of the day, we are all equals. We are all human beings. No one should be being subjected to sexual harassment. No one should be being made to feel that they are nothing more than their physical appearance. And this doesn't just apply to ladies. Not only ladies experience sexual harassment, although it does seem that most sexual harassment is aimed towards ladies, but whatever gender, race, age, sexuality, whatever person you are, you shouldn't be being subjected to stuff like that. If you do come across someone that has been sexually assaulted or they are distressed in some way, then, get a ranger, get them to an ESD camp, get them to an environment that they feel safer in, that is away from, whoever has been harassing them, and try and help that person as much as you can. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Like I said, topics like this are never very easy to discuss. You know, I worry that I will miss out something important, or, you know, I won't like express things in the right way. And, you know, so I really hope that I haven't missed anything out. And, you know, if you think I have, if any of the rest of you have any advice or anything like that, then let us know in the comments below. If you do experience sexual harassment or something, you know, try not to let it ruin your time. Just, you know, if you feel uncomfortable, get away from that person or that area, wherever it is that you are. And, you know, just try and think like, it shows more about that person than it does about you. Like, by someone doing that, by people sexually harassing other people, they are showing what kind of person they are. It's no reflection on you and what kind of person you are. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope none of you, you know, experience any sexual harassment or consent issues, boundary issues, anything like that. I hope you all have an amazing time. And yeah, if you see me at Burning Man this year, feel free to come and say hi to me. Bye, guys.